And I'm back to the Starbucks on Hespeler Road in Cambridge. And it's pretty cold in the morning, minus 14 Celsius. Let's see what it says now. Ah, okay, it doesn't want to say because my engine is off. Lots of snow. And I'm watching TV yesterday in my hotel's room. Bright snow. And my phone rings, and my friend who's pulling a tanker, and he was driving towards Montreal, and it was already about 11 o'clock at night, minus 15 Celsius, you know, pretty cold. And he calls me and he asks for my help. Basically, he broke down and trying to find one towing company, and they wanted $1,000. So he said, you know, maybe you can find someone cheaper, because he knows I always have a computer with me, right? So he has only a smartphone, you know, with a tiny screen. So I found, and he told me that he was near this 730 truck stop, which is exit 730 on 401, basically. I forgot the name of the town, but it's just east of Kingston, basically halfway between Toronto and Montreal. And the poor guy is stuck on the shoulder, and I said, what happened? And he says, oh, he heard something falling off the truck, like some loud noise, and then when he stopped, he noticed that he had a coolant leak. So basically, his fan fell off. Can you believe this? And his is a, what, 2006 or 2007 Volvo. And he later told me that he had been hearing some noise from the front. Probably his bearing, you know, was ready to break down, and he didn't think. He thought he would fix it a bit, you know, later. And then right in the middle of the night, the whole fan fell off, and it damaged the radiator. And so I found him a company, and he said they charged him like $500, but he still had to wait till morning because they didn't want to come out. I think they were dealing with some major accident somewhere there on 401, so they told him to stay put. And I got up at 6 because I wanted to take my truck to this Carrier Truck Centers in Woodstock, Ontario, and have them check those recalls, right? And I get up at 6, and it's like dark, cold, but the truck starts okay. My big truck that I parked next to the hotel. And I go back to the hotel just to wait a few minutes, you know, till the truck gets warm, because inside it's like freezing, you know, North Pole. And I go back, and everything looks good. The temperature, you know, the gauge, the needle is climbing. It was like 150 degrees already, and I had hot air, you know, everything's nice. So I start driving towards Woodstock on 401 on the freeway, and the truck does not cough or sneeze, you know, like sometimes when the truck has been sitting outside for a while. That damn diesel, you know, fuel, it gels up so easy, and it was minus 14, and diesel fuel gels up at minus 9 Celsius, right? And last time I fueled, I was in Gaylord, Michigan, where I was doing the ECM work on the engine, and it wasn't too cold over there, but I thought, since this is northern Michigan, you know, I shouldn't be putting any anti-gels in, because normally in cold weather, if you're in the proper area, they always add something, otherwise fuel would gel up in their pump and the hose, right? So I didn't put anything in, and it was fine until now. Basically what started happening is that I'm driving, the engine is okay, like, but as soon as I start going uphill, and I was pulling my trailer, my heavy, you know, 3-axle step deck, I go uphill, all of a sudden it starts jerking, you know, and I look at my boost, and it doesn't want to go above 16, and that's why it was jerking. Like on a straight road, driving 92 kilometers an hour, it's perfect. Like, this never happened to me before, you know. If the engine is, as the fuel is screwed up, it wouldn't be driving, you know, but I guess because I was I was not loaded. Last time something like this happened, I remember I started driving, but I was loaded. I started driving, I went on the ramp, and the truck started fine. I went on the ramp, and I was doing towards the freeway. This was St. Paul, Minnesota. And also I didn't put any anti-gel in. Well, I didn't put enough. Anyway, so on the ramp, when I was accelerating, it started sneezing. You know, the engine started, the truck started jerking. And then when I went on the freeway, it just wouldn't maintain speed. It was constantly, the speed was going down, even on a level road. And I had to idle it and get some anti-gel, and after like an hour, 2 hours, it started driving okay. But this one drives fine on the freeway, on the level road. As soon as I start going up, it starts dying. Jesus. So I had to stop at the TA in Woodstock, Travel Centers of America, and I bought some anti-gel and some defreezer, like $30 worth of stuff. Put it in my tanks. I didn't shut the engine all the time, I mean, while I was inside. And I went to the dealer, and the dealer says, "Oh, so are you here to do what?" I said, "Well, I called on Friday, booked an appointment, right?" And the guy says, "Oh, we cannot put you in this morning." I said, "What are you talking about? I just drove 56 kilometers or 32 miles here, and you're telling me that there's nothing you can do?" And he says, "Well, but show me those recalls." I gave him the recalls, those sheets I printed out, and he says, "I have your VIN number, nothing active shows on your truck." Basically the same thing they told me on the phone on Friday, but I said, "Well, at least I wanted to look at it." I said, "I've been having some electric issues with the truck. Can you at least check that one of the recalls is dealing with you know, battery cable there?" And he says, "No, your truck is good." I said, "So they would know, like your computer would say, if this particular recall was related to my truck?" And he said, "Yeah." So, or if the recall was issued and we did not fix it, it'll say expired, you know, but basically, so you have to do it. But on my truck, everything is good. He says the last time there was a recall and we fixed it, it was in 2007. Okay. So basically, I turned around and I already dropped the trailer, right, at the dealer. So I was so, you know, not happy. I said, well, this is perfect service, you know. The guy calls in Friday, books an appointment, then drives half an hour to your location. You tell him, "Hey, we cannot put you in." And of course now I have to drive back, right? So, but so I went and I decided to get fuel, because I thought, you know, that fuel probably is contaminated with some water and ice that I already had in the. And I checked the levels, and the driver's side tank was half a tank, and the passenger side tank was probably like, I don't know, 1/4 of a tank less, right? So instead of 2/4, it was 1/4, you know. And I didn't like that, because in cold temperature, that air that you have in your tank, it can the moisture, it can, you know, create ice right in your tank. And I'm especially worried about tonight. Today is Monday, and all reports I checked, they were saying that from Monday to Tuesday, like the night, it'll be minus 20 Celsius here. So I went in back to the TA, and I got probably what, $250 worth of fuel, and 1 liter was $1.40. But I had to do it, because tomorrow I have to be, my truck has to be able to pull a load, right? Not just drive by itself. And so I got some fresh fuel, you know, and that helps to mix those anti-gels, you know. And plus I could see that the fuel was real good, and I know in Ontario they put anti-gel in. So, and that's it. Oh, and then I went to have breakfast. There was a restaurant there, and I checked my email, and there's the email from this guy, my friend with the tanker, who broke down on the night before. And he says, "I had another accident." Hello?
Sir.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Greg at Landstar. How you doing this morning?
Not bad, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, they want you there in the morning about 10:30 a.m. to load you.
Yeah, I already talked to them. I called the guy that, what's his name?
George? Okay.
Yeah, I called George. He said 10 o'clock.
Okay, that's fine. And I just got told my customer, I guess they'd talk to him. But, okay, so you've already talked to him, and you're all set up, ready to go then.
Yeah, I'll be there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, sir. Just call me in the morning when you're loaded.
Okay, perfect. Will do.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye. Yeah, that was the agent. Says, be there tomorrow at the loading place at 10:30. And I already talked to the guy who's told me to be there at 10, so we're good. But anyway, so this guy, he says he had another accident. Turns out he was parked on the shoulder, of course, of a freeway, which is never a good thing. And some idiot, and he had triangles and everything. And at 4:30 in the morning, a guy hit his trailer. He didn't hit his truck. And I mean, he got lucky because he only owns the truck, right? He pulls the company trailer, a big tanker. And of course at 4:30 it's dark, but he had his triangles, and he said he even left like a flashing light. And this guy hit his trailer with his trailer, or with a truck or something. But anyway, so damaged 2 tires, and that's why these guys, they cannot tow him when the tow truck showed up finally. They had to take him to the nearby truck stop, Husky, and made him drop the trailer, and then they took him to the international dealer in somewhere there in Cornwall, I think. So I guess radiator, fan, coolant, oh, and the tow was, yeah, $500. So the guy's looking at $2,000 probably. Yeah. But then I started driving back, and the truck drove okay. But just to be on the safe side, since it's going to be so cold today, right? I'm not going back to the hotel. I'm going to be in the truck because I'm afraid I'll have to, idle it. So I went to Canadian Tire, like automotive supply store, like a big store here in Canada, and I got one anti-gel. Then I got one like kind of emergency anti-gel, which thaws out your fuel filters if they're frozen, and I put that in the tanks. Oh, and then I also bought synthetic oil. Turns out one of the viewers left a comment on my channel. He said that this Lucas oil stabilizer was not designed to handle cool temperatures. And I was thinking about that because I remember that, I was showing how I didn't want to pour, and I had to take it to my room, and then it occurred to me, wait a second, if it doesn't want to pour, then what is it going to do when it's real cold, inside the engine? And when I was driving today, and actually when I stopped at the TA, I noticed that for some reason the temperature of my oil was like going through the roof, and the pressure went down. So I think part of there was probably some pocket somewhere there, like some oil froze or something, or was really thick. And because of that, the rest of the oil started warming up. But on the way back, kind of disappeared. Everything was okay. But I bought, and actually, that Canadian Tire, they had the same bottle of Lucas oil stabilizer. So I checked what it says on the label on the bottle, and this viewer, the guy who said about low temperatures, he was right. On the bottle it says for temperatures below minus 15 Celsius, or I think it's like 5 Fahrenheit, we recommend synthetic Lucas. Like there's another one much more expensive, and I looked at it. It was on the shelf right there, and it's a small bottle, maybe like 1 liter, like one third of a gallon. And so I got that. That's like $20, But I got that because I was afraid that my oil will, thicken again overnight when it's going to be that cold. So I went back to the truck and I put those anti-gels in the tanks. So now I have like a ton of anti-gel. So, and I put that oil in the oil thing. So, and it looks like different. It doesn't look thick and dark. It looks clear. Like gas, Well, it was a big thing, but nothing compared to that oil stabilizer. So hopefully, and they say that you can add this to any kind of oil, synthetic, non-synthetic, and I hope that this synthetic thing will help just a little bit. But you don't need much probably. It'll just help the engine to what they say, eliminates dry starts. And if it mixes with the rest, I should be okay. But yeah, today's going to be an interesting night, so I'll be idling. I'm probably going to rent a movie or something, otherwise I'll go crazy. in the truck, but I do have a plug-in, right? But that place where I parked, there's no plug-ins. There was one at the hotel, but you know, I already spent so much money, I don't want to go back to the hotel. I'd rather keep an eye on the truck. And that's it. So tomorrow I'm going to Cayuga, pick up that thing, the cone crusher, and get the heck out of this freezing tundra. Arizona, here I come. Thanks for watching.